Indominus Rex was in Jurassic World Rebirth, and no, I'm not talking about some background cardboard prop. It was actually in Jurassic World Rebirth as an organism, Indominus Rex. It was there, I kid you not, and we're going to get into it. So, it was actually kind of revealed in this video. If you guys remember, we looked at the bonus 4 mutants that were in those tiny little things with the two-headed Brachiosaurus and stuff. In the background, there's another set of 4 little incubators. I think there's a 4-winged Pteranodon in there. And in this video, we see they show the mutant Brachiosaurus outside of its thing, the two-headed Brachiosaurus, and they show a baby Indominus Rex there. So it's a raptor with Indominus Rex features added to it. This is where they were testing, and it just makes me think, you know, that line where it was said, these guys hunt Titanosaurs, they're predators that hunt them. So D-Rex could hunt them, right? But does that mean maybe there's 2 D-Rexes? Multiple? Because they said predators. Or does that mean there are Indominus Rexes on this island? You know? And not just one, but could there be perhaps multiple Indominus Rexes? I don't know. I feel like there's a ton of potential, because what is taking down a Titanosaurus? That Rebirth T-Rex? Maybe, but I feel like it would have a ton of trouble considering how huge the Titanosauruses are, you know? Obviously, you know, there was a thing that said the T-Rexes, the one T-Rex could have probably taken down the D-Rex in a final battle. So I guess if D-Rex, because I reckon D-Rex could take down a Titanosaurus definitely. If you look at the size of it, it is built to, you know, be the predator of Titanosaurus. But, you know, so I guess there's T-Rex. Maybe it could take down Titanosaurus. But what else could take it down? Mutadon? Maybe. But then again, Titanosaurus has the tail whip that can reach all around it and whip away the Mutadon. So probably not. You know, obviously we've got T-Rex here. D-Rex. Spinosauruses. Individually, I don't think they could do anything against Titanosaurus to take it down. But, you know, as their squad, considering one of the other alternate battles considered was the Spinosaurus trio or squad. I think it was trio, you know, because this was decided before we had the 4 Spinosauruses. The 4th Spino was like a last minute decision added into the movie. But yeah, up 3 or 4 Spinosauruses could probably go hunt down Titanosaurus. So what are the predators of Titanosaurus? D-Rex, potentially Indominus Rex if it's on the island. You've got to think, this island is an island of rejects, you know, and we know hybrids are loose on this island. It's confirmed Mutadons are hybrids. It says it on their incubator lab thing in the movie, hybrid. So what other hybrids are running around on this island? Could there be, you know, I feel like Scorpius Rex is a bit of a stretch. I feel like most of the Scorpius Rex things would be on Island Nublar. But then again, how cool would it be to get a live action Scorpius Rex? If we get a Rebirth sequel, that would be so cool. But, D-Rex. Could there be multiple D-Rexes? Now, I've heard people say there's not a shot there are multiple D-Rexes, right? Because we see that one huge D-Rex that eats a helicopter, then all of a sudden, it can only hold a human in its hand and put it in its mouth. So, it's got me think. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's just scaling, you know, to get the cool shots. But you've got to consider, on D-Rex's lab thing, it said version 23. I think in an article also, David Quep said something like there were 26 D-Rexes made. Of course, not all of them are alive, like that little baby D-Rex we see in the incubator. Definitely not alive anymore. But who's to say of those 23 to 26 D-Rexes, there aren't at least, you know, 2 roaming around. One, a really huge one, like the final version or something. Or maybe, you know, they shrunk it down a bit to get a more Indominus Rex size. Because obviously, you know, we do think they made D-Rex to work towards making the Indominus Rex, in which we kind of get to see an early version of in this movie. It is not fully Indominus Rex, but it is a Velociraptor, I'm pretty sure, with Indominus Rex features. So, you know, they've activated the Belissaur genomes, maybe a bit of T-Rex in there too. But yeah, I remember buying this. It was a Jurassic World Rebirth Ushi pack, and I'm like, everyone was like, why is Indominus Rex in it? And why are there just a ton of things? We had, you know, the 2015 Mosasaurus, had the 2022 Quets, had Rexy, not the Rebirth Rexy, not Ember, guys, and Pyroraptor. So, you know, and all of these were kind of in the movie. Pyroraptor was on that mural in the museum, so there you go. Rexy, I mean, come on, Rexy was the skeleton in the movie. It's kind of obvious Rexy's gone by now. Mosasaurus, we're like pretty positive though of those two beacons that we saw when they were tracking the Mosasaur. They said one was the Jurassic World one or something. It had its chip in it still. I'm pretty sure that was technically a reference, so technically it's in Rebirth, right? And then we have this Quetzal. Now, the 2022 Quetz, the Dominion one, was not in Rebirth technically, but we did hear its noises, you know, from the InGen Quetzalcoatluses. Obviously, it's not the actual Quetz, but, you know, we could pretend maybe it's flying around the world still. I don't know. And then, of course, yeah, this Indominus Rex. I'm going to pretend this is my Rebirth Indominus Rex mutant of, you know, it's Velociraptor. And especially considering how small it is, this little toy that's Velociraptor with a bit of, you know, spiky Abelisaur bits unlocked on it. So I just think that's pretty cool. And yeah, we do know Carnotaurus was originally planned for the start of the movie instead of the Derex and the prologue. So there you go. You know, obviously they do have Carnotaurus DNA on that island. Do they have Giganotosaurus DNA as well? Are there Giganotosauruses on this island? InGen Giganotosauruses. Could we see another variant of Giganotosaurus? Because I know not a lot of people were too happy with the Dominion one. So maybe there's another variation of Giga, and it could be a future movie villain, maybe. Maybe there's a Spino mutant. Maybe there's a Giga mutant. I don't know. maybe I'm stretching things a bit. But I think it would be cool to explore, you know, are there other hybrids on this island? We know of that four-legged Dilophosaurus thing. Is that on the island? You know, and what was it? They were planning on making hybrids with a bunch of random things, like Aquilops with Psittacosaurus, I think, or Stegosaurus. Is that on the island? Spinosaurus, they were planning on hybridizing it with Velociraptor to make, you know, Spinoraptor. I think they were also considering Spinoceratops, but instead of Sinoceratops with Triceratops DNA. And also with Pteranodon. So flying Spinosaurs, not a great idea, probably. I think that would cause a lot of chaos, but then again, the Mutadon stayed on the island, so you never know. But this has kind of been my whole rant. Yes, Indominus Rex was on the island, or maybe at one point. Is it still on the island? Hopefully we'll find out in future. Make sure to watch up here for more, and I'll see you all later. Bye, everyone!